Hello again, everyone. Thank you for coming to my channel. It's time for another video. I'm going to paint over my last painting because I didn't think it was that great. So let's get started. All right, so I should have gotten a reaction video from my wife about this painting because it was pretty funny. She said that I need to stick to my wheelhouse, which is not this, evidently. She says, nope, don't like it. You can see how disappointed I am about that. Bummer. I really thought that this would be a winner for her. But obviously, I was mistaken. So, I'm gonna go with the barn, I think. Might as well do the barn. So, I'm gonna add some paint. It's all background. Always, I like to go with white for the most part. Some people go with gray, and that works pretty good. Got to remember that with acrylic paint, your paint is sort of transparent. So your background will always show through a little bit. That's why when you're painting flowers, you should always go with white. Not white flowers, but white in the background so that you can, make those bright as could be. Now I'm going to do the drawing. I hope that you can see this. I don't know if you can, but I'm just drawing this nice barn scene. It's in my wheelhouse, So, enjoy. And of course, it's always important for me to make a stencil so that I can place everything perfectly. I really don't like having marks on my canvas, which of course this canvas is made out of a sheet, and so I really want to be touching it as little as possible. It's not the toughest thing. Canvas is tough. So in other words, you can't put sharp objects on this canvas. Well, yeah, it's been sitting here for, I don't know, 20 minutes. Seems to be pretty dry. Now it's time for that red barn. A bit of black. Let me think here. What kind of... I could use one of these. It's very important to mix up enough paint. Don't want to be short. As you can see, I've already got my stencil. I like doing these stencils because it just comes out in the right spot every time. Huh, what happened here? That, like that. Nothing worse than putting the whole paint together and realizing, hey, this thing's not even in the right spot. It happens. This just prevents all that. So after some review, looking at this, I'm not happy with the angle. The whole point to doing a stencil is that you don't have problems with these angles. But this whole thing looks, I don't know, tilted. So I'm going to show you how I would fix that. Need a brush that I can trust to get the job done. Trying to match that. Good luck. That already looks better. So I made the bar longer. Why didn't I show it? I don't know. I just was here and I was like, oh, I'm just going to make that longer. Okay. Now I got to put these windows in. These windows, I put in the wrong place last time anyway. They were too high. They need to be kind of down low, like right here. You know, where humans would be. My wife and I went to a wedding in Arizona, and the house we were staying at had this great mural on here done in tile. I don't really know what they call that. But here's like a jellyfish. There's some cool stuff on here. All these fish everywhere. They put some weird rocks or something, glass rocks. I don't know what those are, but that's pretty cool. And several fish and this turtle. Wow. They did really good work on this, and it must have taken forever. Break time over. So I'm going to add these Adirondack chairs. It's like a fire pit scene here. These are, when you're adding this kind of thing, it can really screw things up. And what I mean is you have all your background already in. The ground looks really good, right? You put that in, and it better be right, or you're going to be hating life. Just saying. Fair warning. What I mean is that if you don't get it right, you're going to have to redo the entire background. So you can't just, like I did, where you're just covering it with red, like on the barn when I screwed up. Well, this, you can't really do that with. So you have to really think about what you're doing before you put that in. You can do it. It's just that you're going to have to go. I would have to erase most of the foreground to get it correct again. Of course, the foreground wasn't good enough. So I said, well, it needs more bright color in it so that the sun looks like it's shining through there. So anyway, I just added some yellow before I finished those Adirondacks in the fire pit. Also, it looks like this tree is a little meager. So I'm going to add a bunch of branches and some foliage. Yeah, the trunk didn't match the tree. Tree looked like it had been over pruned or something. And this tree obviously didn't need pruning. So just going to add a little extra on top of this tree. It makes it look a little better. Yeah, well, that looks looking pretty good. Yeah, this whole barn, it's lacking things. So my picture I'm using does not have a window up here. So I decided, oh, it needs a window. Two-story barn. Yeah, and probably could use some other stuff. Maybe a bush. And these bush, so this bush needs flowers on it. Bunch of white flowers. I actually was going to go with red, but I think white is going to be just fine. I decided I needed to put a door on this thing. Also, that would put that in the wrong place. Of course. So let's get started. Okay, so I think this needs a fence. So I need a gray fence. Let's go with that. Actually, that's not my favorite one. Let's go with this. This is going to be one of those cedar fences. Just 2 rungs. Let's see here. Two rails, I should say. 2 rail fence. And every 6 feet, it's a post. So this thing's getting to be pretty done. I'm pretty happy with it. Uh, this is a pretty great painting, I have to say. Yeah. Uh, so, I always have to use a little finger brush. Makes everything better. These shadows are really good to do with the finger brush. I like that. Anyway, I think that concludes the Red Barn painting. Thanks for watching, everyone. Red Barn paintings complete. See you next week when I will probably be making a frame for this painting. Take care.